how did you and Raven-Symoné meet?
Oh, God.
Everybody go. 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 What's going on, people? I got a meeting in the ladies' room. I'll be back real soon. I got a meeting in the ladies' room. I'll be back real soon. Oh. You know, you got to end everything in a Whitney Houston run. If you don't know about life and life being good to you, every time you sing a song, end it with a Whitney Houston run. And the run goes, oh. What is going on, everybody? This is Oliver Twixt here, your nerd boy cutie, reporting for duty, here to do the Lord's work. What the fuck? I probably shouldn't put Lord and the F word in the same sentence. Okay, let's do that again. What's going on, everybody? This is Oliver Twixt, your nerd boy cutie, reporting for duty, here to do the Lord's work once again. Do you guys like to change the background? I'm in my bedroom, which if you follow me if you follow my, what is it called? Insta story, you saw I just redecorated my bedroom in like this black and white thing. You guys know I love black and white. Okay, listen. I am so freaking excited for this interview specifically. First of all, I didn't think she would say yes. Second of all, we've actually been following each other way before all of this like top model stuff and all this other stuff. And I gagged when she followed me like way before, like whatever. Second of all. Third of all, Azmarie is like one of my inspirations because I'm pretty sure those of you who have been experiencing me for some time now know that I am a man, but I embrace the feminine things about my body that come naturally, about my mannerisms that come naturally. And I just absolutely love people on this earth who walk that line of androgyny, for lack of better terms. And seeing Azmarie on Top Model when I was a little girl, was so inspiring to me to see someone embrace both aspects of the gender spectrum, for lack of better terms. I don't got time for all that like scientific words right now, y'all, because I'm very excited and I'm slightly nervous. I'm admitting, y'all, I'm slightly nervous because y'all know I'm not an interviewer. Y'all know I don't do this. I just go live and talk about Top Model because it's what? My second favorite show of all time. Charm will always be number one. So, yeah. I guess I'll start rambling and let's just bring Azmarie on because I'm pretty sure she's a busy woman who has many busy things. And should I unzip my jacket? Ooh.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi. Oliver.
Azmarie.
Hi. I'm trying to get my glasses clean so I can see you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I can't complain.
Oh, I love your background. I'm just in the living room, moved in like mid last year, COVID. So it's dry walls, but you know, it's okay. I didn't bring a drink. I have a joint, but I'm not going to smoke it on here.
Yes, ma'am. Where are you in the world? Are you in California?
I'm in LA. I'm in
LA,
like, I guess
the
center of what's going on in Cali or in the US right now. What's up, boo?
Nothing much. I feel like we've been flirting for a while now, and it's like now is the time where we can like make it official,
I like it. Let's do it. I don't know what to expect from our conversation.
Really?
And I'm a little nervous. Not even, it's crazy, right? I know. More so because I've never talked to anybody about this, and it's going to be like the truth, and it's going to be the one and only time I'm going to do this.
Repeat it again for the bitches in the back. This is your one and only time talking about the top model T.
Truthfully, I'm so happy that you're doing this. I caught wind of you again just in your realm through Mr. J interview I think you did with him. And I was glad that he even did that, because honestly, everything he said on there was pretty much the truth. And I was just gagging in the background at how much I wasn't going crazy. So yeah. And I'm trying to keep my hair together. I told you, I just woke up.
Just let it fly. Yeah. What made you do red?
I've been bored over the quarantine, so I've changed my hair color a lot of different colors.
Mm-hmm.
And before this, it was green, and then I had like a self-tape that kind of pops in to have to send in for a show, and so I threw on I was going to go black, and when we were kind of making it neutral, this kind of red color came in, and I was like, oh no, like let's keep this. My eyebrows kind of gone because I wash my face every day, but it was lit.
No, you still.
I was trying to give you a little bit, but in my own way,
Bump me. Listen, bump me. I didn't know that I was attracted to women until I saw you on Top Model, and then it was fortified by a friend that I have now in my life. I'm not gonna say her name because she hates when I say her name, but I just thought I was a punk who liked men, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm strictly dickly. I don't want any of that. Until I saw Azmarie, and I was like,
oh, thank you.
And that's when I discovered that it's not men that I'm attracted to. It's masculinity that I'm attracted to.
I have a little dose of that in there for sure. I think that's majority of me.
Mm-hmm.
Always
and
been
it's like
always.
It's it's the mannerisms, it's the swag, it's the da-da-da-da, it's all of that, which, I'm pretty sure we can get into a whole talk about, gender identity and attraction, all that.
We could do that on another one.
Yes.
We could definitely do that on another one.
But I just thought it was just so cool. Like, I'm slightly standing right now. That's all. Like,
Well, a mirror only reflects itself. So thank you.
Without further ado, I'm going to jump into these top model questions. Now, I'm going to be vulnerable and say that in the history, for the first time of me doing an Antm to exclusive, I went and I checked in first with the person I was going to talk to ask if these questions were okay. Because I am such a stan, and of course,
that.
I want
That's
to
actually very professional. So thank you.
I know, you're so welcome, and it's because people have become to know me to do these top model chats, and I get it, but I tell the people all the time, I'm not a vlogger. I can give a fuck about tea. It's just so happened that this show that I really like is very popular, and one or two people may know who I am. It's picked up steam, but I'm not really interested in like headlines and it's just, I'm just a fan, just getting whatever I get and sharing it with my friends here. So yes, this was the first time I asked someone, is it okay? Without further ado, I'm just gonna jump right in.
Oh shit. Let's go.
Are you really nervous?
I am a little nervous. Well, first of all, I haven't done an interview in a little bit, and it's not that I don't know how to interview. I can have conversation all day. Again, it's not knowing how the questions that you're going to ask are going to be asked, and really just naturally being a human, how I'm going to respond to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's ease in it a little bit. You talked about you watching Jay's chat and you agreeing with a lot of things that he said during his breakdown of cycle 18. What are your responses to some of the things that he said during his chat?
Well, because that was a really long one. The biggest thing I will say that it was there was really a show going on behind the show. So you were in the show, and that's still weird because one episode I think took 3 to 4 days to shoot, so that's like 90 hours of footage crammed in 1 hour. So they're trying to like create this storyline, this plot for all of us on there based on what we're really doing. So him being honest about like what was going on behind the scenes, it did get a little stressful at times. It was like, oh, and I hate to say this, I hope no one out there really takes it personally, but if I couldn't imagine being in jail, but it was like a luxury jail. You don't have contact with anyone. If you did talk to family, they had already, before you went in, signed stuff. Your calls were always monitored. If you said one word wrong, they'd hang up the call. So then you have like another week before you talk to family. So that isolation, and then you're around other girls that are dealing with whatever the fuck they're dealing with, you know. It was a lot. Like, it was a lot. And I think when I did it, my mentality on there, really, it's gonna sound crazy, it wasn't going on there to win. Like, at that point, I had flown back from living in Europe for 2 years and like really understanding what it was like for someone to appreciate what I have to offer in this business and what I can do as far as creating art and selling shit, period. So at that point, I was going on to a show that I kind of had loosely an advantage, like the girls from Europe, because I had already been there, but I had never been on a show. So it was just like, okay, get your name out before you're like, I'm done with all this shit. Because I was really kind of coming to an end with modeling. I've been modeling since I think I did my first photo when I was a child. So yeah, that other show that they were producing behind the scenes was really stressful. I'm trying to remember what episode it was and who. Pardon me, because I haven't seen it in so long to remember.
No,
all the
you're
names. It
okay.
was one of our girls from Europe, which I love them all. They were absolutely amazing. Oh, what's her name? She had the short. They ended up cutting her hair real short, like a boyish one. She walked off the show. The day that
Oh,
episode, I was
Louise.
going, Louise, thank you. I was going to walk off that same episode, but I didn't know she was planning on leaving. We could see what was going on behind the scenes. I mean, I was like to my head stressed with what the fuck was going on. And I remember talking to some of our producers, you know, letting them know. They didn't know. They didn't tell me, you know, they don't tell us what's going on. So I think it was really like up in the air. And then ironically, I want to say I ended up winning the same one I wanted to leave. And then she left. So it was like, holy shit. We're all looking at each other, not knowing that she was going to do that, but all feeling the same amount of stress. So I had to make the decision right then, like, well, I can't leave. This will now look bad on you. Like, it was a whole shift in my mind of shit. And I even knew then I would probably hear things from wanting to leave, but I don't know. At the same time, like, I just knew going on a show, I did not care what anyone else thought outside, because you're not experiencing it, you don't see it, you don't know what's going on. So you can't really say what you would do put in that situation if you're not really in that situation. And it was very toxic, more on the outside. Like, you could just feel everything going on outside, everything. And it was affecting everybody.
Dang it. I can just imagine the turmoil and chaos
It was a
of
lot.
Louise leaving and then Azmarie leaving. And goddamn it, if Alicia White would have walked out after you, they would have been crushed.
And the thing, I don't know, I can't speak for the other women, but I just know for myself, having to make that choice of like, okay, you know what, I can't leave now, you know, because I really did. I knew it would have been a problem later, because you don't know how they're going to spin the story. I mean, at all. There were times where I couldn't wait. I would be sitting there on that bus. I'm like, oh, I hope they show the shit. My team was mad at me, like mad at me. The episode we did with Kelly Catron, and we had to do the photo shoot. And if you won the shoot, you ended up getting on the website and da da da. And they chose, my group chose to put me as the lead. So you're facilitating everything. You're giving everything on the spot. The minute they told us 2 girls had to leave to go get shit. So it was a lot. Like you're really thrown into these situations, not equipped. But I just think because I naturally am good in interesting situations, it worked out. But it was so much stress. Like the girls were stressed, trying to get them the timing of things. I was the last person to do my shoot of my group that day. That was the first time I got the lead. That's actually the photo you put as your cover. And I just remember being on the bus and all the girls were so negative, like, oh my God, I feel like this was my worst shoot. Da, da, da. Like I was getting so much rain on me, but no one will ever see that. So then you see this stress on me through their story. And it's like, this is fucking crazy. How many of our girls ended up getting top photos that episode? Like I was just sitting there looking at all of them in the room, just like, what was that? Like, why you think I'm sitting here I'm trying to build you up. I'm learning now that I guess the way I build people up, it's how I say it, not so much what I'm saying and what I'm doing. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that stress, it really like it built up. That's what you saw over time with me that got to like the butt pad.
Which we will talk about.
Child, keep
the
going.
butt
You do your
pad.
thing, girl.
So what I'm learning from doing these chats specifically with you Cycle 18 girls, I've talked to Alicia. I've talked to
Hi, Alicia.
Yes. I talked to Alicia last night actually on the phone. Me and her have become very chummy friends. Alicia, Sophie White, and I've also conversed with Annalise and I've watched some of her YouTube content about the show.
I'm always watching her on IG.
She is amazing, isn't she not? She's watching right now.
Like I said, I loved all the girls. Like everybody was so dope. I mean, again, and I think it's crazy. Like I related more with the girls from here, but it could have been I had just like when I say it wasn't even 5 months before me moving back from living out there in London, like that I ended up doing the show. So it could have been that relation, you know, and like they were experienced. I had the experience. I mean, I was 25. That was 9 years ago. I've been doing stuff already. And not to say it like that, but like I had been asked by Top Model to do that show almost 2 or 3 years before the show actually even, I decided to say, okay, you know what? Modeling wasn't going here. I need to go do this. I mean, when I say I was sitting with Beth Ann Hardison before I went to London, she flew me out and was like, I got you set up with all these agencies. And this is after sitting on the phone with her for 2 hours. I want to model. She was like, you should work behind the scenes. Like, we need more Black people behind the scenes. I can put you in a position. I can help you out. You can learn. And though it was great, I was really like, no, I'm supposed to be doing that. I don't know why the fuck modeling was so like deeply rooted in what I had to do. It was like I was overly passionate about it. And I think that's what allowed me to move how I moved. But I said, can I just send some photos to you? And you give me your feedback. If anyone on here knows Beth Ann Hardison, you know. So to have her approval, like literally when I say it wasn't even an hour between me sending her those photos and her being like, can you get on a flight? I've scheduled you with every top agency in New York. She walked me in them with her. All of them said no. So what I've learned also now is I've always been ahead of my time. So I've been able to gratefully open paths for a lot of people to do what I was trying to do 10 years ago now. Yeah.
How does that feel knowing that?
It hurts sometimes because people have so much high expectations of me that it's like, okay, let me breathe.
How do you deal with that pressure?
I don't know. Smoke. I smoke. I meditate. I just disconnect, really. I disconnect from everything.
And then how is it being a trailblazer? Because you are a trailblazer for you being, I mean, but look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm an androgynous type of person in presentation and media. Definitely inspired by seeing someone like Azmarie do what she did. So how is it knowing that you are this trailblazer, hearing people say this about you, and then you see other people come after you doing the same thing that you did and are doing, but get a different result than you've experienced, like you just said about you going to the modeling agency and then all telling you no?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not negative about it towards anyone. I think it's absolutely amazing that someone is able to make that shift. I mean, at the end of the day, there are millions of people in the world. So I'm just one of those millions that did make an impact for sure. I don't take away what I'm able to do and what I have done at all. And honestly, no one will be able to do it. I can't say that I hear anybody get compared to Grace Jones, but like that was what I was compared to. So I had a lot like to look up to in that sense. Grace Jones is one of the most iconic androgynous people out there. David Bowie and Prince. Like there's so many more before me. And there are going to be so many more after. It's just really like the timing of things in the world, honestly.
Yeah.
That's just it. Like, and for anyone that does just it as a gem, if you want to get like stay in the shit, it really depends on how passionate. Like, I don't do the stuff for the fame. And I think at the timing of things shifting and social media becoming really big and things like that, like I could have been on the bandwagon. Do you know I didn't even sign up to Instagram until episode 6 of Top Model? So I wasted, months of free publicity and advertising. And so it's really how you work it. I think now I'm in a different space. I'm just like, okay, cool, did that. Like, what's next? Like, what's going to bring me money? Where the money reside?
Where the money reside?
At this point, modeling has always just been a passionate thing that I've done. I've financed to get done. I'm grateful that every photographer that has ever shot me has wanted to shoot me. So that has allowed me to take such phenomenal photos at only cost to me is just my time and my energy and like giving them what they were expecting. And time again, I've been able to shoot with such amazing people, but that should never pay me. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, I'm glad somebody else figured that shit out. I don't know how I even get, whatever. I know that what's meant for me is always going to be for me. And I also know that anything that's there is not always meant to last either. So it's kind of just, I allow things to happen. Like, I'm fortunate that even to do Top Model and to have that moment and then to have to let that die down. And then all of a sudden, Empire happens. Like, those moments in life are always going to happen. I'm very unattached to what was, and I'm allowing so much more of what's supposed to be to happen. I think I'm really kind of really almost catching up with myself in a sense, if that makes sense.
Oh, that is beautiful, Azmarie.
Thank you.
Yes. Let me ask you, what are your pronouns?
Androgynous. It's so interesting you say that. So to even hear that, I just recently shot a short film that we're trying to do the feature, my first producing credit. I got Lisa Ray McCoy to come on and play my mom, and I'm playing a non-binary character.
Okay.
Who uses the pronouns they, them, their, and that was the first time I really dove into like the research of what that was. And I know that might sound ignorant to some, but like, again, a lot can happen in 10 years. Like, I'm in my 30s, so I'm used to like LGBTQ, the IA, I don't know. I wasn't really on with that one. Androgynous is my term for non-binary. Same difference.
Gotcha.
I can play kind of the both roles of either one. I don't really, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I identify as a woman because I know what I see every day. I bleed every month. Like, there really is no way around that. Period. And then I just am. Like, that really is just like, I am as I am. That's always been my thing. Like, I don't have to give you a title or a label for you to understand it. Like, I am, however it makes you feel. My bad, that sounds personal, but like, I just am.
Oh, this is so freaking amazing. I hope all of my queer people watching this are being educated and being inspired by this freedom. Freedom is so beautiful, and people who are interested in wanting to know about our community and, just the different spheres and stuff like that. This is a great, like, Azmarie's doing a great job of explaining what it is that we want as us just being us and just being in the world, and how we process it, and how you can potentially view it and process it as well. Like, this is so freaking amazing. And we haven't even answered one question about Top Model yet.
That's the kind of person I know how to segue. Like, okay, let's get to what's really important, especially while I am here, because it's like we can talk Top Model, and I'm going to allow you to do that because that is what some people want to see. But
no,
that
this
just
is the
goes
good
to show
stuff.
that's not what's important in life.
Yeah, no, this
that can explain where I was then to hear me now. Truthfully, like, I was still the same person 10 years ago, a little less wise, obviously, but I was still like, my mentor, he passed away in 2019. And before I did the show, his name was Alakazia. He was fabulous. Actually, you should look him up because you have a look that look him up after this. Go on his Instagram, it's still up. So before I did Top Model, he was one of the people that had to sign the paperwork. He was like, baby, I need you to go in there and I need you to dumb yourself down. This is a very well-educated Black man. He's a designer. Like, he's worked with so many different people. And it was more so that I can allow the queen of her show to feel like she was doing something. And it's not that she wasn't at all. All of them, I have taken something away in whatever way, like, especially now more than ever. But it was really just to make someone feel like they can teach you something, because I already had everything I needed. I was already very well trained by someone years before that, literally posing for 5 minutes at a time in heels, because you work with so many different photographers that one of them might move a little slower, and it's not because he's not amazing at his photography, it's because he wants to get just the right lighting. And if you move, it fucks up how he's doing stuff. So when I say months on end, like months, I've even thought about, my dad keeps saying I need to do a show. He's like, yeah, Top Model was a show and it did stuff, but like what you did was like training. I thought about doing that. I really have. I don't know. I may or may not. I might even talk to you about how you can help me host it. I need my Mr. J.
Ooh! Because I would not play with the girls. You hear me?
I already know.
I would not mince any words.
I already know. And I've worked with so many people. I mean, even a guy named Alva Page. He's amazing in walking. I mean, I've done so much. I did Rip the Runway in 2010. That was 11 years ago now. I've done so much, and I do have a wealth of information to share. And that was all before I got to Top Model. So it was like, I had to bring myself down, a little bit to be able to, like, even for me to receive something else. It was like, humble yourself still at the same time. But at the same time, don't be fooled by the foolery to get the numbers. At this point, we 18 cycles in. We're not doing what they were doing, and I wish they were doing, like with Eva. Eva threw out a shout out, season 3. You know what I mean? Like, she was doing real shit. It got to be a joke later on. And so it was like, in between trying to show what's real and like play the game, it was like, okay, ooh, how many weeks have I been on? Oh, that's enough to make an imprint. I was on the cover of like Yahoo and on New York, like USA Today, I think it was. And like New York, like the day that got announced that I got moved, because I was the only one who had ever said no. But it was like the dumbest shit. I was set up. They told me that before I even walked in. We have a Wrangler, and I love my Wrangler. I still talk to her today. Van, I love you. She's married now. She's about to have a baby. Like, literally, she was like, I can't tell you what you're going to do, but we all know you're not going to do it. This is everybody on the crew. We all know you're going to have something to say about it. Once I had said no and like walked out, I didn't really show too much of it. But when I was sitting in a chair, and like, I will never forget, I knew then, I was like, if you do not do this, this could very well be it. And I don't think it should have been it. I don't. But for so many reasons, I think that I've put in my head of probably why it was supposed to, And my main thing is I'm like product placement. I wasn't really aware of that. This is someone's product. I said no. If I say no, someone following me, my followers are going to say no. They can't have that. That's what I put in my head. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what I've settled with. But I knew, like, when I walked out that room, like, what the fuck is this? And then to see it later and be like, y'all had them on their knee, like, what the fuck? And then in my mind, I just kept thinking, well, 17 cycles, you've been talking about how women need to embrace their bodies and embrace who you are and figure out what it is about you that makes you unique. So why the fuck am I putting on fake ass and walking around here literally humiliating myself just for the sake of your amusement, and it's not going to do anything for me later? It was a lot. It was a lot to have to swallow. Just as much as I appreciate Mr. J doing his thing, to hear him on the show be like, well, you know what, just as easily we could put you on, you could be gone. And that being in my head for years of, is this the reason why I haven't got work in a while now? Because it wasn't just a little story, like, at all. So it was a lot. Like, it was a lot to have to just settle with myself and be like, okay, this is what it is. Later when I see how they flipped it, and it was a team thing, but it wasn't no team thing. My team was plotting how to get me the fuck off the show when we first got in the house. Like, that's what everyone was on. It was, and I can get it because that's what the show is. So it's like, all right, you do your thing. I move how I move. Shit, like, I'm a quiet sniper. Like, I don't have to say too much. I don't have to do too much. I let my actions speak more than you will ever hear me. But that was that. I said, no, I saw that shit come out and I was like, this is what everybody was talking about. Of course I'm not going to be okay with this. The fuck y'all thought? But I had no idea it was going to send me home.
What about it exactly did you not agree with in relation to you?
In relation to me, it was really just, I had a look that was androgynous. We all had our looks. At that point, you designed us to have a look. I did not understand in that moment why any of us had to have to put that on and create. And what was it?
In Toxabellas.
Yeah, gotcha.
Shout out
I
to
was
Tyra.
like, nah, shout out to him. Like, I'm not even taking it away. There are some people, and that's, again, they knew because I'm an androgynous person. That's not something that I would sell. And I was not put in this position in my mind that we were selling a product. So that was clearly a no. Now, had I known we're selling this product, man, that would have been a whole nother, it would have been a no-brainer. Like, truthfully, it would have been a no-brainer. But yeah, no, it didn't happen.
Gotcha. I wanna pedal back to go for it. Is that okay?
Do what you gotta do, baby.
No. I just want to say you've answered like 10 questions in like a whole in your So it's like you slightly messed up my flow right now, but it's okay because I'm gonna show you how tight my pussy grips.
You got that wop, huh?
Wop. Okay, listen. Let's talk about your makeover first. Did you like your tattoo makeover?
Oh, they Antm. Well, they branded me. That was intentional. But also, it was like, what else could you do? They actually, when I went, so the interview week was really weird. Like, they put me in a truck. I remember getting, like, whomever dropped me off, we were in a shopping center, and then, like, this van pulls up. They throw me in this van. It's pitch black. You can't see nothing in it. Like, I felt like I got kidnapped. And then I'm taken to this really nice hotel. And they were like, okay, get ready, get dressed. Now, mind you, I had just freshly balded my head. So I knew what I wanted whomever to see. And our first meet was this really big meet. It was like almost like a U-shaped, not round, but square, but U, of about 40 or 50 like producers and crew and you name it. It was a lot of damn people. And it looked like we were in a ballroom. And I remember I had bald head. I think it was the first shot. I had the vest on. Like, this is like the last day before they ended up. We learned that we were going to be whoever was going on. And I walk in the center of this room, and everybody's just staring at me, and I'm just calm looking. And Tyra's right in the center. And the first thing she says to me is, what is it that has all these women on my show saying that they'll leave their husbands? But like how she said it really sounded like she was bothered by that a little bit. And I don't know, like I don't know. I it's all love. I think I've only seen Tyra twice. Like after the show, once was at a, I think both times were at a top model party for like later shows. But like I don't know. I just always felt like she kind of low key had something out for me. I don't know why. I wish I could get on with her to ask that, but we could just do it privately. I don't need to have it aired out. But I would love
to know
like what
the
is
things
it
of the
like?
things.
Yeah. Please tell me.
Okay, let's put a pin in Tyra for right now. I want to ask you about another chat that I did with Alicia, who was very, I don't know if you watched it, but she was very vocal about like her emotional roller coaster, the psychological roller coaster, some of the things that were going on with her in regards to the show and how it was being produced. I have two questions for you. What was your experience filming with Alicia and seeing her go through some of those things?
I mean, I felt for them. I felt for them a lot, especially because they were brought to a whole nother country and you, like us, can't be close. You know, you can't talk to your family, but like it feels energetically, especially because I lived in LA and all my family in LA. That's the worst thing, to feel the energy of someone and not being able to connect with them. And again, like it could, the conversations that you may have had on the phone and just getting them cut off. Like I can only imagine how they were really feeling disconnected. And then at the same time, you try to be there for these girls and you try to at least listen. I know I did. Like I was on the show like on some real other shit. People really thought I was on there like to win, because I guess everybody was on there to win. I was on there to get motherfuckers like y'all to take heed of who I was. Like really, at the end of the day. And so trying to be that ear for them to allow them to feel some sense of comfort while they was away. Like you could see the stress on them, and then what was going on underneath all of it to try and stay strong. So then in some it backfired, like, you know. So it was interesting, and I did feel for everybody, and it was never easy. Like it was hard a lot. I do know that most of the time when we weren't out doing something, we were in the house. And I remember just being out by the pool. Like you saw me outside more times than not, because that I'm just like, that's my space to just sit and be, especially when you can't do shit else. Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely, it was a lot.
She mentioned something in her chat that Sophie later confirmed, and I want to know if you had the same experience. She mentioned that when you guys were not filming, that you guys were instructed to turn about face away from Tyra. Did you experience that?
I can't say that I remember that, but we were always being filmed. There wasn't a time we weren't, like, and I guess I get what they're saying, like when we weren't physically doing something, but we were always being filmed.
Gotcha.
Like the only time you had your solo time was if you were the only one in the bathroom. You could be in there going number 2, and if another girl walks in that room and has a conversation, them camera people will run right in that room. So you were never like ever alone. I don't remember or recall like them saying that. And if they did, the way I'm feeling now, I probably would have been like, you're right. Like I'm gonna make sure you see my eyes, because I want you to feel how I'm feeling right now, like for sure. But I can't say that I recall that. I have heard people do that before. Yes. I know a couple of people that have said that.
I want you to flesh out a little bit more your experiences watching Louise quit the way she quit. What did you see, and is there anything that was not shown on the show?
There's tons of shit that wasn't shown on the show. Again, just I'm gonna reiterate, 90 hours of footage. That's almost what? That's almost 4 days.
Right.
This is a 1-hour show.
Yikes.
So you're only going to see the twists and plots of a couple of them that happen in those 4 days. A lot can be and happen in 4 days because you're shooting around the clock.
Right.
Like, so one episode ends, the next one's starting. Like it's nonstop.
But what about in relation to Louise and her going home and then like that whole?
She was stressed. She missed her kids. She missed her family. Like Yeah. I mean, it was natural. You're isolated. We don't talk to anyone except for the ones that are there. And if you didn't have just a natural relationship and they're like, then you're feeling the energy and the animosity, or you got, most times it was the British was fucking with people from the American team, most times, probably for entertainment. We sitting there all day, all day, all day. Like how y'all at home now, we all COVID, quarantine, chill. Like that's what we were all day. What the fuck you gonna do? 24 hours a day? Start fucking with somebody. Get tempers flared up. So then you would see like Simone. Oh my God, I felt so bad that day when Simone flared up on Alicia. That was a lot. It was a lot. And I'm just standing there. I was outside. You see me in a towel from being in the pool. Like, oh shit, I thought it was going to go down. But then I started thinking, well, we're in this house bored. No one's talked to their family. It even got to a certain point where no one could get on the phone. Like 1 minute they say we could talk. Next minute it was like no one can talk to anybody. So that in itself, when you can't talk to your family, I went off on people because I was on the phone. I didn't even say something about something, but they still hung up the shit. And I went ham. There's places in the house you can't go to. So girls are getting upset, banging on doors like, yo, I need to talk to somebody. Like that got frustrating. And one by one, you do start seeing people like, I'm ready to fucking go. Like, oh, this is cool. How many episodes we in now? Like, I think that's really for some, that's what the mentality was. The only one time I really thought about going was the episode that Louise left. After that, I was like, all right, I'm going to thug this one out. I really didn't think I was going to get sent home. Because especially when you see who, and I was even more mad when you sent the girl home the next week. It was like, really? Oh, so this was personal. This was not anything about the show. This was personal. Because you can't say that I did not give my all. You can flip it and say I'm not doing enough. And then all of a sudden I'm overly confident. Like, you can say all that shit. This was personal. Because there's nothing in my work or anything that I had done leading up to that moment other than saying no that would give you a reason to really put me off. And then let the girl, what's her name? Indian girl, Laura?
I just be wanting to see
Laura.
if
I love
y'all
Laura
girls
too.
gonna remember.
I can't remember. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a minute, but now that I said Laura, I'm like, I do remember Laura. I loved her. She was so much fun. Like she was cool. And no one I really keep up with like since then, but I do follow Ebony, who I think became like the supermodel of the show. She's worn it out, worked it out. I fucking love her. I'm so proud of her. Even her being stressed out and like knowing what she's supposed to be and showing us now, but not being able to show it on the platform that she believes she was supposed to show it on. That watching her was just day in and day out. I felt for her because yes, she was a little bit more of the younger one, but it was like you don't have to make her look like a damn child all the
Like a
time with these
child.
pigtails. Like I felt so bad for her. Everybody had their own thing that they were going through.
What was happening with you that made you want to quit specifically during the episode that Louise left?
I don't know, it was whatever was going on in the house. It was just back stuff. Like you
Gotcha.
knew producers were definitely like watching scenarios. Some of them would just say certain shit just to get you to respond, but you didn't know that shit was going on. Like it was way left field. But and then you started realizing, okay, this is what's going. That's why I was like, it's a show within the show. And it's the show that no one ever gets to see. It's the show that, well, until 9 years later, I've actually really opened up about. And honestly, that's only because I saw Mr. J do it. It was like,
Shout
oh,
out to
you
Mr. J.
real honest about this. Okay, well, fuck it then. If someone approaches me, I'll do it at one time. And here we are.
Here we are. What positive things did you take away from Top Model?
Well, I definitely learned how to like work in a group, like really taking the lead. I think naturally, even as humans, I can't speak for everyone, but I know I do it. Like I undervalue myself and I don't really always see my worth as much as someone else does. So I think, and knowing my capabilities, and I think I underplay that a lot. So that show and in a lot of those situations allowed me to see like, oh, you're a boss. It's okay. And it's okay to be one. And in order to really like stay sane and like go about things how you need to go about it, sometimes you have to appear like you're cocky and you're a bitch, but you don't have to be. And that's what I've like learned over time. Like, just step into yourself, like, period. Whatever that looks like, in whatever realm that's in.
What was your favorite photo shoot?
My favorite shoot was with Nigel, with the gown and the I think that was the second winning and the lowrider. I mean, just even the shoot with Nigel.
Because I've talked about this photo shoot in other chats I've done,
It's
and I'm like,
phenomenal.
I
It's
love
so
that
old
photo
school,
shoot.
classy. Like
it's clean.
Yeah, it's clean.
It's
It
a
was
mashing of
amazing.
so many different worlds of beauty and hardcore, all the textures.
Yeah, it
I
was
love that photo
phenomenal.
shoot.
Yeah, that's by far definitely my favorite on there.
What about your least favorite?
It's so funny. I was like, what is my least?
Is it the maple syrup?
Probably. I mean, well, that was interesting just shooting itself, and I had contacts on, and I remember the syrup burning my eye. That was an intense shoot. Probably wasn't my work. Probably wouldn't have been the photo I would have chose, because I know they got a couple other ones. But I think my least favorite would have been the one where I had to be George Washington and jump on the trampoline. That was that with Catherine? Was it Catherine?
Listen, and I hate, I don't like doing this because I'm a creative that works out here and whatever, but you guys put it on the TV for our entertainment consumption, so I can
Yeah, you
critique it.
did. Go ahead.
Whoever came up with that idea and signed off on it, we should put you in a room with that same camera and you to be made to do 1,000,000 jumps.
I don't think even that it was a bad idea, like, because honestly, it was
horrible.
It was amazing. Yeah, that's what it was. Because I was like, it was actually pretty fucking dope. It was about, I think it was 360 cameras or something like around it, so it shot you in so many different angles. But yeah, the wardrobe was not it. I mean, honestly, our whole season was really like, is this a fucking joke? Like, I was a little disappointed with it. I was really disappointed. I really, what I believed, and that could have been my bad, putting it off for so many years. Honestly, with the mentality of being like, you know what, a lot of these girls on here, they even wish they could be doing what the hell I've been doing right now. I sold my car, bought a ticket to Europe on the strength of knowing that if I signed, I would go. Like, there was so many things. It was just like, I have these, I wouldn't even call them luxuries because I work fucking hard for them. But it was like, there are a lot of girls that don't have this position. So let me give someone else the opportunity to get on the show, and I'm going to keep going this way. Like, literally, that was my mentality up until it was like, okay, what you doing?
Can you bring us to your final episode? You've already talked about the booty tooch and all that other stuff, and your feelings regarding that and why you said no. What was your experience with Tyra when you were telling her no? Because she seemed very offended that you said no. Is there anything else we didn't see, or do you want to expound on anything that you felt?
No, I just think she believed I was not supposed to say that shit. Period. Oh. It's her show. At the end of the day, there's a lot of producers under it, but she has the final say.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And I don't think she believed I was really going to balls down and be like, no, I'm not going back. I'm not putting that on. I'll do anything else y'all need me to do, but I'm not going to put that on. Mm-hmm. And it was like, well, if you don't do this, then you're not being a team player. Well, then I guess I'm not being a team player, because at the end of the day, then my mind was like, well, this is a fucking competition. I still got to beat my team out anyway. So I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it's again, it's a whole psychological thing. It's all subjective. It's all based on everyone's individual experiences, and everyone's situation, even if it was a small one, was created in some way, shape, form intentionally. Mm-hmm. And so it's just really how you respond. It's just like life. Life will throw some shit at you, and then it's like, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to respond? Or are you?
How was it finding yourself in the bottom two after you had done such an amazing job during the previous weeks leading up to that moment? Like, how was it? And then you going home?
I don't know. Just at that moment, I knew, like, again, that's when my mentor came in, because he was always in my head, mm-hmm. of stay down here. Like, and it was really up until that moment that I was like, I can't stay down here no more. Like, I'm lowering my level of person down here. And there are still certain things that a lot of people do respect me for. Like, it was not to slap Tyra in the face. It was literally a personal choice. And I do have them. I'm entitled to them. And I do understand that with every decision, there is something that happens afterwards. You might not like it, but that's just a part of life, period. So that's what I was served with. And that's how I walked out, like, knowing. I was like, I know I'm going home. And I knew if I did, it was personal, because she could have not sent me home and done something else to prove a point. But she
which could
proved
have
it this
been
way, keeping me on the show and doing whatever the hell she wanted to. I could have been penalized for it, but that was me being penalized. Like, between that and literally, like, that same episode, Mr. J, and I know part of that was really what he had to do for the show. That's why, again, like I said, I can appreciate what he said later, because it's like, yo, what the hell? But I don't host shit. It's like, all right, well, everybody, who knows what she was going through that day. She had to decide. Hell, I just learned that they had to shoot 2 episodes, 2 endings. So it's like, okay, you got their stress, you dealing with that. Like, it's a lot behind this machine.
You touched on it a little bit earlier about how you felt like your time on Top Model and that decision and you being eliminated could have potentially affected your career. Speak to that. Like, do you think your time on Top Model had a negative impact on your career? Were there any experiences that you had that kind of harken back to, oh, they're judging me according to what they saw on Top Model, or maybe, and I'm not saying she did, maybe Tyra is telling people, or the people who work on the show are telling them things about me or whatever. Did you experience that?
I mean, I would love to think that my time is really worth that of Tyra's to go say something. I doubt she did. Like, period. But I won't say that it was so much what happened. Just naturally, anyone coming off of that show, which is also why I was like, I don't want to win, because I didn't want the stigma. There's a stigma that is attached to you after you do that show. And yes, people do see that. So when you walk into agencies or you walk in, in anywhere, they're waiting for that to fall off before they can even work with you. So just that in itself was kind of that break for me. It wasn't long, because I think it was about 2.5 years or so before Empire ended up happening and, like, Top Model ending.
Gotcha. What was Azmarie doing between 2.5 years of Top Model ending and then us seeing her on Empire?
I was still modeling. I was still hustling. I'm a hustler. Actually, currently, since the COVID happened, I started selling solar, so I've become a home improvement specialist.
I saw that in your bio.
I have. So
get money, bitch.
Homeowners, let me know and work something out.
Get money, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, that's what you have to do.
Got to.
Stuff always changes. Shows in, residuals come in, but, like, you have to keep going. So it's
gotta keep pushing.
Like, what's next? What you doing?
How was it being able to carve out your own identity outside of Top Model with you being on Empire?
How? I'm sorry.
Did I act that funny? I probably did.
No, I just want to make sure I heard it right.
So we've seen, of course, hundreds of girls come through Top Model, and like you said, you spoke to the stigma that's often attached. So how was it for you leaving Top Model the way you did, one of the more controversial eliminations in times on Top Model, and now you being able to carve out your own identity outside of the show and do it successfully? Because when Empire was going, Empire was like the #1 show everywhere. So how was that for you, experiencing that?
It was dope. I mean, I guess I was already myself. Honestly, me getting on Empire happened because I was already who I was. Like, they casted me because I had that look. I did do a producer read for it, and then, like, a week later, they were like, "You got the part, but you got to move," and I moved. That, I would say, that was more hard than anything, because I was thinking that I was looking like this for so long, I needed to now change my look. And so I started growing my hair after the first season of Empire. And then, I mean, though I was still on there for 5 more seasons here and there, it was different because then they didn't know, it was harder for them to like write stuff for me from what I was hearing because I was going through this look change that was different than what they casted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I mean, shit, everybody goes through that body modification, like however it is. Sometimes I might be in a mood like, oh my God, and that will be what makes me feel better. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
change my, and it's like it's got to be drastic.
Having a very successful career, Azmarie, and you being who you are and how you present yourself in the world and identify, what advice would you give other people who are like you and they want to be in this industry?
You have some thick skin. You're gonna hear no more than yeah. Like that's the basic thing. Like whatever it is, just be true to yourself. Still be willing to like adapt. That's I think that's been a plus side for me is because I can adapt. Though my I think acting work doesn't show it. Like I'm really kind of casted for being androgynous. I'm seeing a lot more roles coming in for non-binary, and that's cool. Like I'm like whatever. But I think because people have seen a more feminine side in modeling, that allows that change and that seeing something different.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys got to be willing to not change, but just be open, be flexible. Push yourself a little further just to see what you could do.
You spoke about the project that you just completed with Lisa Ray earlier in our
Mm-hmm.
chat. What other things does Azmarie have going, where they be acting, modeling, music? Azmarie does music.
I know. I know. It's weird. Like I do. It's crazy. I years ago I was really even like into it hard and always in the studio and recording and my brother B Slade is I always have the pleasure of working with him and honestly low key he like stunted me because I got in with him and like I don't know when you work with him because he's so amazing like he's phenomenal and he only strives for the highest quality of perfection. It does get hard to want to put out stuff when you work with him. Like no lie, I write stuff all the time. I'm in school finishing my bachelor's. I graduate this year, so I'm excited about that. With production, audio, I don't know if music will be my main focus, but it's just something in what I'm doing. Um, I do a lot. I'm creating shows. I'm actually pitching shows right now.
Congrats.
I've been having a hard time getting casted, so I'm having to do like modeling, create the shit, be in it, and like get people to see it, and then that's when they want you. So yeah, for those out there, be willing to put in the work. Like don't even when you get a team, your team is they have a specialized labor to help you grow, but you still have to be the fueled engine that pushes that motherfucker
Mm-hmm.
even harder than your team is still doing for you.
Oh yes. Oh yes. You know, Azmarie, I was doing a little bit of research just on you because I respect you so much. And, you know, this not being really my field, I always want to be very careful that I'm not disrespecting or doing anything, wrong because I don't want to offend
Yeah.
anybody, especially someone who I admire. And one thing I really appreciated from doing my research from you is that when you talk, when you have these moments, which is why I'm so appreciative that you're being so vulnerable with me, you're very focused on your work, your art, the things that are important to you, which I freaking admire. And I admire how you're able to keep the focus on your work, but we're not gonna act like Azmarie isn't someone that's had like a lot of media attention with Top Model, with Empire, and with some of her personal things. And this is one of the things, guys, that I asked, do I have permission to ask her about? And she gave me the boundaries, and of course I accepted it, and whatever,
Of course
whatever.
you
But a
did.
lot of the Antm fans in the comments want to know, how did you and Raven-Symoné meet?
Oh God. No, for all of those out there, I'm very happy that my friend is happily married. So we're gonna say that. Um, we met. I mean, we knew each other as friends when we were younger. When she was on Hanging with Mr. Cooper, my dad was working on the show. And then we re-met again. I was with B. Scott, and who else was I with? Was it Stephen Jones that night? And we were at And if we had a charity event in Hollywood, and they were like, "Oh, Raven's having her birthday at such and such club. Like, you guys want to go?" I was like, "Sure, I'll roll. Let's go." And then, yeah, we ran into each other there. Ended up sitting in her little section. She was with her dude at the time, and that was that. Like, we didn't. It wasn't nothing like that. And then we saw each other again through our mutual friend Jesse. He was having a performance. I think it was at the Spider Club or something like that, and she happened to be there, and then we just reconnected.
And that was that. Listen, I want to know, and this is my last question about this. I want to know, how was it for you when all of that hit the media about you two being together? Because a lot of the, and of course, it's a given. Like, I can sense from you, Azmarie, like, you're very logical. It is what it is. You understand the things. A lot of the articles and media attention was like, Raven, and, you know, and all of the things that, you know, her finally presenting herself this way. But how was it for you being attached to this very, Raven is a pop culture icon. Like, she is. She's a pop culture icon. And that aspect of her life finally coming out and you being attached to that, how was that for you experiencing that, like, all of this being in the media and people having so much discourse about it?
I was happy for her, honestly. I knew that was something that she wanted to get out. I knew that was the only way that she could just live fully comfortably in her skin. Because she's a wild character, and I think it just all made sense. Um, and I'm happy that, honestly, that she, you know, trusted me enough to, you know, I don't. That's still my friend. That's still one of my best friends. So I'm protective of her just as much as am of any of my good friends, you know. And so they're human beings at the end of the day. You know, everybody might know who she is, but she's still a human being. And I'm just glad that she was able to come out, and everybody did accept her how they did.
Beautiful, beautiful. I have one more question for you, Azmarie, and I ask all my girls this. Well, I'm gonna ask one more question after that. I'm sorry. No, I'm lying. I'm lying. God, please forgive me. I lied. I am gonna ask one more question after this. But if you actually no, I'm gonna ask two more questions. I'm sorry. I keep lying. I'm so sorry. Very quickly, what are your reactions to the judges and like the personalities on the show? That's Mr. J. You talked about him. Miss J, Kelly Catrone, Nigel Barker. What are your thoughts on them?
I love them all. They were all dope. Even Kelly. I know she had to be whatever character she had to be on the show, but she was very respectful and pleasant behind, like, outside of it, for sure. They all were very respectful. Love Miss J. I ran into Miss J a couple times over the years from then. Mr. J and I, we still follow each other. I'll shoot him a couple messages, you know, on DM, just wishing him well and stuff. I mean, they were cool. I don't know. I don't be tripping on people like that. Like, people are, they are who they are, and they're great individuals. I very much respect them all. It is what it is. Yeah.
Okay. My next question is, and this is the question I ask everyone: if you were standing before Tyra Banks right now in 2021, what would you say to her?
Happy New Year. I don't know. I don't even know. I guess if I had to say anything, it'd be like, so why you really kick me off the show? And I would really just ask it just like that. So, like, look, this elephant in the room. What was really up?
Tell me, Demilo.
Yeah. But do I sit and dwell on it now? No. Like, if I get the opportunity to, maybe if it crossed my mind, that's when, like, I might not, because I ran into her a couple of times and had the opportunity to, and that was not the first thing on my head. Like, it was just love. You know, it was like, oh, what's up? Okay, cool.
If you could talk to a younger Azmarie who was on Top Model, what would you say to her?
Oh, I know you don't want to do it, girl, but you got to put this butt pad on.
You would have put the butt pad on.
I probably would have. Look at you.
No, Azmarie, you're an icon because you said no. Why would you have put the butt pad on?
Because it was a product placement.
Oh, and it was work. It's work. Okay, I get it.
At the end of the day, yeah. Beyond that, no.
I like.
Yeah, for that, yeah, I would have. I was like, okay, you know what? You got to do it for this. Because at the end of the day, you don't tell a client no. So had I known that that was literally a client of theirs, no, I wouldn't have said no. I would have. I could have rationalized that thought and set myself aside. That's why I said the situation was not set up like that. So it was like, all right, well, what's she gonna do?
Do you think you would have won?
I think I probably would have at least got to the top 3. Probably would have been 2. If I had done that. Seeing how everything else went, had I followed through with that, I at least probably would have been the top 3.
I would have loved to see your CoverGirl shot, because like that would have been so fucking iconic to have this androgynous being do CoverGirl. And like let the
it's so funny, CoverGirl, let the streets say CoverGirl has come and gone. Like, it's so weird. So Top Model happened, and then that I missed it that way. And then when Empire happened, do you remember Empire did a big thing with CoverGirl? And it was not, because no, Taraji did back. No, it was Gabourey, Caitlin Doubleday, I think it was Soraya, and Grace. They all ended up doing shoots for CoverGirl, but they were also all series regulars on Empire. I'm like, damn, CoverGirl keeps like being just right there, but it ain't. I don't know.
CoverGirl,
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Give Az a shot.
Look, I'm over here like, let me holler at Rihanna. Like, nah, let me support my black people. Rihanna, let me do something with Fenty, because she seems like she would know what to do with me over there.
And I shout out to Rihanna. I watched her fashion show, and just the level of inclusion and celebration of all people from different walks of life. Yeah. Drag race girls, different skin tones, different body shapes, different genders, different identity. It was so freaking beautiful. So you know what? Actually, Azmarie, I'm echoing
that would be
your
in
sentiment.
Today's time. That would be my fit. Over time, the only other one that I felt like would make sense would be Mac, and that's because they still play borderline of like the androgyny, and they're bold. Most other makeup companies aren't bold. So,
is there anything that you want to plug regarding you? Anything that the people can go get, go click, potentially lick? No, I'm just playing.
Ooh, don't do that. But, I mean, like I said, I have a short film, independent film, going to be coming out this year. It's called In the Gray. I produced on it. Super excited. It's by Yolanda Bugs. Let me throw her out there. I haven't really done any new music yet, but I plan to release some. I guess if you haven't heard Lituation, it's out. The video's out. You can go listen to that for now. He's like, what's up? I know. It's coming. But let me tell you something. When you have a lot of hats to wear, and I'm sure you know, in order for you to really make any one of them take off, you have to focus on one at a time. And so that's just what I'm doing. I'm allowing so much time. I mean, it's strategic. I'm a Capricorn. I move slow. Sometimes things happen, but when it happens.
You're a Capricorn?
Yeah, my birthday just passed, December 28th.
My boyfriend's a Capricorn.
So you already know. You know how
he already knows, the thing that you and I have going on, and how I feel about you, and he's okay with that. I literally just talked to him.
We don't be tripping. Yeah, he cool because he confident. He like, man, I know who you going home to at the end of the night.
Oh, but that's okay. I may just want to swing around the block with Azmarie.
I'm still a lesbian, but it's okay. It's all love.
Well, clearly I'm trying to be a lesbian as well.
I see you. I see you pushing it. I see you. It's okay. I'm gonna let you live your life.
Oh no, it's just what all that joking, all this stuff, it really speaks to what I want to say right now. I so freaking appreciate people like you and all of the names that you mentioned during our chat today that I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching don't know. And I want you guys to go research some of these people, because as you were saying these names, it was taking me back and almost made me emotional a little bit. It was taking me back to like very specific moments when I came across people like B. Slade and B. Scott and people like Azmarie, who I felt like represented me in all the things that I wanted to be and all the things that I wanted to do and how I wanted to present myself and express myself, and to see people that look like me, that talk like me, that have the same interests like me doing it was so inspiring. And so I just want to freaking thank you, because you are an inspiration for so many people, including myself. And I know there's so much more work for Azmarie to do. I'm so happy to be connected with you, and, you know, being able to share this moment with you. And
thank you for sharing such a safe space for me to talk.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Like I said, I'm very selective on who I speak with, and I know this has been a question for so many years. So I don't know. I just felt like you probably were going to be the right person to share this with. And like I said, I ain't having this conversation with nobody else. I don't care. I'll be like, oh, go look at me at Oliver Twixt, YouTube, Instagram video, and
bitches,
all the answers.
Bitches.
Because I don't want to keep reliving it too. Because it's like, all right, well, I want to also show people, like, things happen, but we have to learn how to let it go. We can't be so attached to the thing. I can't change the past. If I could go back and do it, yeah, cool. But then that could have changed a whole lot of what happens now. You know, I don't know. So it's like, all right, I'm grateful that I had it. I'm glad that I did. Now I won't have to say what if, you know, those years that I did pass on it. Yeah, keep it pushing.
And now that I've spoken to you and we've shared this dialogue, it makes me even freaking love you more. Now that I hear your brain and how you view things and rationalize and prioritize things, Azmarie is a girl.
Can you please? I wish you would have met Alakazi. When you get off of here, look him up. You're gonna, and then hit me on DM. You're gonna understand why I told you to look him.
Can you? Hold. You said his Instagram is still up right now.
Alakazi. I love
Alaka. Zia. I
think that's it. He's
Alakazia?
Yes, he's fabulous. Yep, that should be it.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to freaking check it out. There was something else I wanted to say, Azmarie, before you freaking left. God damn it.
This was fun.
Did you enjoy it?
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I feel a release. I'll tell you that. So thank you for allowing me to shed that way. It's like,
oh no, you're so welcome. No, you're so welcome. I'm so grateful to Top Model always. You know, Top Model is trending today on Twitter because a clip of Tyra has gone. Yeah, it's trending today. People talk about, you know, the things that Auntie Tyra does, but as much as we can chop it up, add dressing to it, and whatever, Top Model was still, and it's still to this day, a vehicle for so many people. Top Model has inspired my life. Top Model has brought forth so many iconic people. Like Eva was a role model for young Black girls. Azmarie being a role model for people who are androgynous. Isis being trans. Like, the show has done so. I love Isis.
And
we're talking to Isis tomorrow.
Love Isis and Lace.
But the show has done so many great things in inspiring so many people like myself and all the people who are watching this. And so, thank you, Tyra. Thank you, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate you, girl. You know, you gonna always pop up. Ooh, y'all Sagittarius, boy. Y'all always find a way to just pop up.
Thank you to all the people, Ken Mock, who made the show possible. Thank you to all the people who, thank you to everybody. Freaking, thank you. Because we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with Azmarie, talking about this type of stuff if it didn't exist. So we thank them. Is there anything else you want to include before I let you go?
Nah, just create habits that match your desires. That's it.
Oh, say that one more time. That was so good.
Create habits to match your desires and then come back to the breath. We are in a time of craziness, and so you just got to keep your spirit right, and I guarantee you'll do a lot better out
there. Azmarie, you need to open up a church.
Ooh, I don't know about a church, but
I could be your minister of music.
Okay, done. Well, like I said, I'm gonna circle back to you for that show. I'm gonna talk to you about it. I already got the blueprint written out. It's just a matter of if I'm gonna do it.
Make me think I'm gonna be working for Azmarie.
Yeah, I'm working for me. Working with me.
Oh, thank you so much. Azmarie, you've done a fantabulous job.
This was fun. Thank you so much.
No, you're so welcome. Listen, everybody, please send kisses, hugs, energy, all the great things as we wave goodbye to Azmarie from giving us an amazing chat on America's Next Top Model Cycle 18.
All right, boo. Have a good day.
You too, baby.
All right.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was so freaking amazing. Listen, I'm not going to hold y'all. I'm going to get the fuck off this thing. Listen, this video will be uploaded to the Oliver Twixt YouTube channel. That's TWIXT Oliver Twixt on YouTube, where you can watch this chat and so many others. I think I'm almost close to 50. Honestly, I think I'm going to go to 100. I think I'm going to go to 100. And then I'm done for real. I don't know. I've been praying on it. But listen, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for sharing, subscribing, all those great things that keep this train going. I have nothing else to say. This is Oliver Twixt, your neighborhood cutie, reporting for duty. And I just did the Lord's work, bitch. Be sure to pray and kegel, because you just never know. You never know when your kitty is going to be put to the test and you don't want to fail. Bye, you guys. Be safe out there, please. Love you. Come home.